welcome. I would like to say that it is a great honor to participate in this conference, to be part of an initiative seeking to create bridges and shorten the distances, especially this very specific moment that the need for cooperation and solidarity, on my opinion, is urgent, and art has to move towards this direction. In order to make this true, however, there must be a solid ground, the right preparation, and mainly we need to get to know and understand better each other and our needs. And this is really happening the last 2 days here, and I'm thankful for your invitation. It is a path of understanding, sharing, and exchanging. So I would like to express my sincere thanks for the invitation to the Institute, and of course to Jadwiga and Yaroslav. In this context, I have also to use my presentation. This direction? Okay. So in this context, I will try to guide you through the theatrical reality of Greece, my country, today in 2023, and also introduce you to the National Theatre and our work trying to respond to nowadays challenges. So Western theatre, as all we know, was born in the city of Athens 2,500 years ago as a product of democracy and critical thinking. We Greeks, we have a glorious past, but of course this is not enough to guarantee our present, our theatrical present and future. So the question is, what is happening meanwhile in Greece? Is theatre still a powerful art? I think a short introduction would be helpful. Theatre in Greece, in a professional level, is mostly a 20th century product. As Greece was under the Ottomans' occupation for almost 4 centuries, theatre activity was very limited. After the revolution of 1821 and the liberation of the country, theatre activity starts with semi-amateur groups touring all over Greece, as well as in other cities with strong Greek communities. The theatre is based on the protagonist and the important roles that he or she performs. In the beginning of the 20th century, the National Theatre in Athens is founded, fulfilling a demand of many years. Any European capital that wanted to be respected should have its own theatre, and Athens wanted to be a European capital. It is also important to offer culture to people and to bridge the glorious past with the present, providing in this way the national continuity. The National Theatre, royal at the very beginning, will be the leading institution of the country since. Thus, we also have officially the coming of the heir of the director in Greece. First director of the National Theatre is Thomas Economou, who had studied theatre in Austria and was belonging to the group of Meiningen. The most influential, perhaps, among the important Greek directors in the 20th century is Karolos Koun. Despite the challenges posed by World War II and Greece's Nazi occupation, Koun founded the Art Theatre in 1942. The theatre objectives included promoting new Greek playwrights, establishing a drama school with its own distinct style, familiarizing Greek audiences with major foreign playwrights from both classical and contemporary traditions, and staging ancient dramas. But, of course, until the 70s, we have mainly repertory theatre all over Greece, and especially in Athens, where the great actors are always at the center of interest. At the beginning of the 80s, in Greece, in a country re-emerging at all levels after 2 world wars, a civil war, and a dictatorship, gradually the conditions for theatrical development and change are created. State grants for independent groups, establishment of municipal and regional theatres, opening of the actors' profession, which means that there was no needed anymore a special permission for the actors to be on stage, creation of university theatre departments. These new conditions enable artists and groups to dare to face theater with a new perspective and move away from traditional repertory choices. Enabled new groups to discover new and unconventional venues and to transform them into centers of creation and research. Playwrights to experiment and check their potential. This intense activity, the increase of the productions and the diverse tendencies brought on stage both classical and modern works, Greek and non-Greek, and created the need for new modern texts that would correspond to their era and express their reality. Some of these new groups will manage to survive and lay the foundations of the independent stage that flourished in the decades of 80s and 90s. They attempt to play a social role, choosing Greek and foreign repertoire of contemporary concerns as a reaction to the political situation, but also as a response to the global theatrical trends that fascinate them, Brecht and mostly Eastern European drama. The explosion of the independent stage will be even bigger in the 90s, mainly thanks to the theater grants. In this decade, important groups established themselves and had a successful course for almost 20 years. The art of theater itself is at the heart of the quest now. The artists are very interested in their contemporary dramaturgy, mainly as part of their own research for what is new. Directors and performances focus on the evolution of staging, experimentation with form, and revisiting classic playwrights. More or less, this has been the picture until 2010. The economic crisis at the end of the first decade of the century changed dramatically the conditions of creation, the conditions of production, and the way theater activity existed. Within a very short period of time, we witnessed theater activity to shrink throughout the whole region, while the number of productions in Athens increased at a dazzling rate, you can see here, without this increase, meaning that we had an increase also of the spectators. And you can see that in 2013, we had almost 950 productions, and we went up to 1,700 productions during the economical crisis. And also another thing that happened is that almost all theater activity moved in Athens. So it's a really small, it's a tiny circle, but you can see that the rest of the country, the green thing is really such a small piece, and all other activity is moved in the capital. In order to respond to the new situation, theaters changed the way they were working, while the abolition of theater grants played a catalytic role. It also led to the change of the production mechanism and caused constantly worsened professional conditions for all artists and people involved. Labor rights were violated, collective agreements were abolished. Instead of a contract and a monthly salary, people are paid with a percentage from the income of the box office, and very often there is no insurance. Of course, actors are not paid for the rehearsal period, except, of course, the National Theatre and some big production companies. Lack of money leads also to repertory selections with limited cast and with low or absent budget for the whole production. No sets, no costumes, and 2 or 1 actors are very common. And of course, thousands of monologues, too many monologues. Therefore, historical theatre companies stopped their activity since they could no longer support it financially and survive, and they didn't want to compromise with the new reality. while in some cases the manager of the companies, they prefer to move out from the profession and avoid any risk. In addition to all these problems, the pandemic kept the theaters closed for almost 2 years, and there was also the Me Too movement in Greece that was mainly on theater and was a major issue of Greek society, creating a distorted image for theater and its people. But I would like to add that during the pandemic, it was a very nice opportunity for the artistic community of theater to reconsider the situation and stand up for their rights. Now, I would like also to talk a little bit about the course of dramaturgy and the main dramaturgical tendencies. In the late 50s, Iakovos Kamaneli, just after the Second World War, changed the scenery, introducing a piece of life on stage. I have to add that for the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th century, Greek play was not so preferred on stages. They were preferring big names from abroad, and it was much easier to show a play and say, this is a French one, even if it was a Greek playwright that had written it in order to be staged. So in the late 50s, Iakovos Kapanelis changed the scenery and introduced the piece of life on stage. Reality fed the theater and the audience stood in front of its present. In the late 60s and 70s, new voices appear and present their work asking for a new reality and new theatrical themes. I don't want to say too many names that perhaps doesn't mean anything to you, but I can show them to you. We are in front of a creative mixture, opening a wide palette of themes, of ways of narration and expression, of forms. In this surrounding emerges also a type of dramaturgy that forms a strong identity dealing with existential issues and political perspective. Among them, I will mention Marios Pontikas, that we lost a year ago, that his work constitutes a diverse and multidimensional criticism of the modern and postmodern political and cultural Greek condition. And moreover, it formulates a vibrant theatrical mosaic of the Greek society, which extends from the post-Civil War period to the current critical times. And then we have a series of important playwrights, men and women, from Andreas Staikos and his experimental writing during the rehearsals with the actors in a philosophical but open theater, an open text from Maria Evstathiadi. And we are moving forward to the last decade of the 20th century and the poetical landscapes of Akis Dimou and the distortion of the heuristic element to the postmodern writing of Elena Penka. Different approaches, different material and different voices, but with a very strong message in a world that is being transformed. The 21st century strengthened these voices and reinforced them with new experiments that largely reflected the influence of modern European tendencies. Greek theater was more and more influenced by it throughout the increasing mobility of artists and groups, but also through their participation at domestic festivals. Contemporary life ideas to new thematic orientations, the elimination of national characteristics, man as a member of the global scene, of an open world, of European Union, of osmosis and its results, the question of national identity and the importance of diversity, hot social issues such as the poverty, migration, refugees, sex trafficking, the key issues and axes of human existence such as love, relations, alienation, power, are always here too. And new playwrights emerged, two of the most interesting cases of the contemporary theater, and both of them, they came from acting. Yannis Mavritsakis, with his deeply existential works, that trace their origin to the Greek tragedy, and the wild, self-sarcastic and stinging Lena Kitsopoulou that last summer her adaptation and direction of The Wasp by Aristophanes for the National Theatre at the Festival of Epidaurus caused a great discussion in Greece. At the same time, there is a great writing explosion that, along with the steam of the devised theatre, gave voice to many young artists who were trying to find their way by testing their powers. Many of these plays are based on improvisation and passion, but of course there's a lack of research and depth. The second decade of the 21st century, with the invasion of the financial crisis into Greek reality, dramaturgy is centered on the individual and the anxiety about survival, reflecting at the same time the social and political situation. What dominates is individual deadlocks, dark or pessimistic plays with the ego suffocating under the burden of collective responsibility. At the beginning of the third decade of 21st century, social issues are introduced that search also their place in the public discourse. Gender identities, the claims of the LGBTQ plus community, patriarchy, gender violence, racism. These concerns are reflected in a variety of performances by renowned and young artists, but also in dramaturgy. I want to mention Yannis Chiros, who systematically deals with the socio-political pathogenesis of contemporary Greece, and also Thanasis Triaridis, who deals with the fascism of society, an emerging power that is really very scaring. It is obvious that we have an interesting scenery that highlights different and diverse trends, conventional and unconventional styles, new efforts, realistic text, abstract and poetic attempts. Within this context, there's a growing movement in modern Greek dramaturgy in a landscape where older and younger playwrights meet. One can find on the stages plays following realism or style standards that dominated during the decades of 60s and 70s, successors of surrealism and absurd also coming from the 60s, deconstruction works mainly influenced by the German directors, transcriptions, dramatizations of text and events, devised performances, documentary theater, experiments in contemporary forms, and new ways of telling stories. Modern Greek dramaturgy seeks its identity through the great legacy also of our drama and its relation with the present, trying at the same time to absorb the surrounding atmosphere, the social, political, cultural, and economic reality of the country. And now I want to say some few things about the theater structure. So we have two state theaters in Greece, the National Theatre of Greece in Athens and the Thessaloniki's National Theatre of Northern Greece, which was created in the 40s. There are also 16 municipal regional theatres, most of which, though, fail to function properly, with some exceptions because they depend on the local governors and they interfere a lot in their work. Major private institutions such as the Onassis Cultural Center and the Stavros Niarchos Foundation, where the National Opera and the National Library of Greece are based, play an influential part in the artistic life of the country, but they are not mainly oriented in drama theatre. Of course, the highlight of the summer in Greece is the Epidaurus Festival at the Ancient Theatre of Epidaurus, which hosts productions of tragedy and comedy for 8 weeks, and most of these productions afterwards, they tour in the rest of the country. In more, during the summer, I could say that we have more than 200 festivals all around Greece, where this kind of productions, mainly ancient drama, but also anything you can imagine, is presented. At the same time, and I have to mention also the Athens Festival, which is a very important part of our theater life because it also produces new productions on one hand and hosts internationally acclaimed productions on the other hand. And at the same time, there is a very strong independent scene, despite the severe financial problems. Artists, producers, and numerous theatre groups are struggling for survival, and variety, therefore, is an essential characteristic. And classics keep the lead in Greece. They prefer, audience prefer to go and attend shows written by Shakespeare, Molière, Goldoni, and of course there's a very vivid experimental stage, and I don't really want to use experimental as a term, but I mean that there are a big community of young artists that they try themselves. And also the last 20 years we have stand-up comedy, theater of objects who are gaining space, and musical that was not so popular in the past. Now it is very popular, and this is a photo of our last production of the National Theatre, which is called Evangelismos the Musical, and it's really sold out. And another trend is that of the recent years are the adaptations of important classical literary masterpieces like Dostoevsky, Kafka, or Greek masterpieces of a wide era, who are staged, indicating with great success, and I think that indicates the need of people to tell, hear, and attend the story. All this activity occurs in more than 200 venues functioning as theaters. They are not only theaters, as theater becomes anything that you can imagine, and with more or less 1,500 new productions every year in Athens. Also, we have 26 drama schools that bring into the profession around 200 new actors per year. I say this because I have to clarify that theater grants are given maximum to 80 productions per year, and the sum does not exceed the 20,000 euros for the production. Thus, this pluralism and diversity, it's interesting, but also creates a suffocating conditions for artists who, in order to survive, are forced to work in completely unprofessional conditions, while dozens of artists, mostly younger but also older, are looking for their place in the field. And I will end my presentation with a few words about the National Theatre. The National Theatre is a very large organization with 6 stages, a drama school for actors, and a school for directors. It employs a minimum of 200 actors per year. We do not have a permanent group of actors, but we contract actors according to the projects. We have 300 employees, administrative and artistic employees, but also technical staff, and almost 500 artists from other sectors that collaborate with us. The main purpose of NTG, according to its statute, is the promotion of culture and the preservation of cultural identity. Its repertory aims at polyphony, promoting the dialogue between past and future, with more than 22 productions every year, giving space for Greek and foreign masterpieces, classic plays, and modern concepts, dance theater performances, and space for new emerging artists. Along with the above, there's also a vast parallel program focusing on education for professional and non-professional, and social activity. Workshops, special projects and theater, for example, in jail with prisoners or with drug-addicted persons or at the hospitals. The revival of ancient Greek drama remains a key area of interest for the National Theatre throughout the season, in an effort to combine respect for tradition with new trends, and therefore we organize every year the International Workshop on Ancient Greek Drama at Epidaurus, aiming to offer the students specialized knowledge and training on ancient drama in venues related with it since its birth. A key issue for NDG is the osmosis with the international theatre activity. So we are focused on the formation of our international identity. International identity. By developing a serious activity since the beginning of the 20th century, we have been a constant and active member of the major European networks, and at the moment of the European Theatre Convention, where I have the honor to be a member of its board of directors. And to our projects, to our Extroverti is included an annual showcase where curators and directors are invited to come in Greece and get to know our work and our people in person. A program of residencies for young artists. The new open call is going to be next month, so please, if you have young artists that you want to suggest to come in Greece, please mail me. And a small-scale festival for emerging artists. I spoke too much. We also co-produce and thank you. And we tour our productions. At the moment, we have a production which is called Goodbye Lindita by a very young director at the age of 23 that has already traveled to Germany, Belgrade, Amsterdam, and in January we are going to Australia. And nevertheless, theatre, I think it's in an internationally deeply human and existential language. Greece have a lot to share, our countries have a lot to share, so this is a reason why we're all here, and I will close my presentation with this photo because it also demonstrates the idea of what a national theatre is. Last year, you may know, we had a very big fight in Greece because the ministry undergrade the degree of the artists. So there was a huge protest. This is the National Theatre. This is the theatre community outside and inside the theatre. The National Theatre and its artistic direction decided to go with the artistic community and not with the government. So the theatre remained closed for 2 years and for 2 months. I'm sorry. It was occupied by the artists, and we let them be in, and we didn't say go away, because we believe that a national theatre has to be fighting for the good of the artistic community and not against. Thank you very much for your patience.